Hi, welcome Krishna. We convened today at an hour where Australia has just won the Ashes. They won 3-0 for the first three matches. It was a complete swipe for Australia. After the end of the second match, England captain Ben Stokes did mention that he wanted his team to turn up. And turn up they did, but eventually fell just a bit short. They lost by 80 runs. I think you would have been encouraged by the performance that, especially the order of England, which included knocks of Jofra Archer and Will Jacks, showed, and today the resilience that Jamie Smith showed as well to take the game deep. But unfortunately, a bit too many runs for England to chase. 440 was the target, 430 odd, sorry. But yeah, they did try and make an effort to reach the target, but they fell short, and with that they have lost their dream of winning an Ashes series in Australia. But the dream of winning an Ashes match in Australia is still alive. Krishna, what to expect from the other two test matches, and what is your reaction?
I think it was a very sad indictment on baseball. I think a lot of the times when even in the second innings today, they had to, throw away a lot of the baseball ideals to make runs. So I
Correct.
think it shows the complete lack of, too much faith in something that did not work. They kind of overestimated their own abilities. I knew this was going to happen. I think I predicted a 4-0 or a final during the preview as well, because however good England claim they are always not as good as they think they are. But I think the fight that they showed today, especially the lower order, was pretty good. And I think that's how they should play. The template is there for them. The template has been shown by visiting teams to Australia before as well, with Pujara batting time. And those are the things that will help. They need to tire the Aussie bowlers more than, attack them and play. They need to bat time more than bat for runs. And I think England just didn't do that in the first two tests. I think Perth was just a shocker in terms of the collapse that they had in the second innings. And Brisbane, they were outplayed. Here as well, they were outplayed, but there can be positives taken, but again, too little, too late for England.
With like just a short turnaround time, Boxing Day, 4 days away. I think 26 is the match, and they travel to MCG where you would expect a bit more bounce than Sydney at least. But the England bowling lineup, Jofra Archer has already played three straight test matches. Ben Stokes did not bowl on day three. He was knackered as well. There was a lot of heat in Adelaide, because of which a lot of bowlers, obviously with Australia batting so much, a lot of overs went in from the England pacers. So expect any changes from England going into the fourth test.
Honestly speaking, I don't think it matters much at this point. They've lost the series, but yeah, I think they need to. The sad thing is that their best bowler, has just shown up in the last one test match and maybe the last innings of the of the Brisbane game.
And the
And
se-
so
and the
I don't
second
know
best
how.
bowler is not available for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think. It doesn't matter now what they do. I think it's they might as well test some new bowlers. You can play Potts, you can bring back Atkinson, you can rest Jofra because it doesn't make a change. I think MCG recently has become a very bowling friendly pitch. You will see
Correct.
scores of within 250 or 300 being very good scores. And I think India has shown that in the last couple of years with visiting the MCG, and even Australia won, I think, this time. But we had two wins in 18-19 and 2021 at the MCG. They were all low scoring games, so it's going to be tough to bat. And so I think if they want, I don't think they should rest Archer. I think he's been their best bowler, especially after Woods were injured. And they decided to go with a plan saying that, we will outpace and outbowl Australia, which hasn't worked. But if they lose both their pacers who bowl 150 plus, I think it'll be a sad indictment for them again. And I think they will play Archer. They might bring in Bashir instead of Jax. But Jax has shown with the bat that he's got some fight in him. I'm sure both of them will play in Sydney, but for Melbourne, I'm not sure. But I think if they've taken Bashir and shown him faith, I think now, at least now they should play. And yes, in terms of batting, Ali Pope needs to go.
And who comes in place of him? Because there's only one option, that is Jacob Bethel.
Yeah, has to be Jacob Bethel. I don't think there's anyone else there. He might not end up playing at number three. I think they might end up moving Jax at three and then playing
Correct.
Bethel at maybe a seven or something. Or I think I read a lot about. I heard a lot that they might even push Ollie Pope down to keep and bat him at number seven instead of Jamie Smith. But I think Jamie Smith has kind of shown today that he will keep his place, and
At
Zach
least
Crawley
for one
also.
test match.
Yeah, at least for one test match. So yeah, I think the only change that I'm expecting is maybe they'll play Bashir, but again, that'll only happen if they change combination and they
Correct.
drop Pope.
But with obviously their batting order not firing in unison as well. We saw the vice captain Harry Brook getting off to three or four starts throughout the series, but he's not been able to convert and make it into a big one. Ben Stokes, the leader himself, has shown a lot of fight, a lot of courage. He's been bowling his heart out. He's been bowling bounce. I remember a spell of 6 overs or 7 overs where he just bowled short balls in that heat of Adelaide. Joe Root scored a century, but you need other players to step up. I think Zach Crawley did it this time, but in with respect to that, you see Ollie Pope failing every time. You see Ben Duckett getting out for cheap scores. Harry Brook is not converting his stars. Jamie Smith has been a very on and off player this series. Will Jacks did play the second and third test, but this was the first time that we actually got to see a lot of fight from him in the first and second innings both. But do you think one big innings is due from an English batsman this summer, or I think is it over for England's batting lineup?
I think Joe Root has scored 1 century, but after that he's average. If you remove that century, he's averaging 16.
Correct.
So I'm very disgusted by the way Harry Brook has played this series. We all know that we can see the class in him. We can see that he is meant for big things. He is the next big English batsman, but he chooses to throw his wicket away every time. He plays bad shots. He comes out to press conferences, says, "I need to rein it in," and then goes and plays a bad shot again. This reverse sweep, okay, I can understand this particular reverse sweep that he tried to do because he was reverse sweeping Travis Head quite well. But as soon as Nathan Lyon came out, he decided, I'm going to reverse sweep Lyon as well. But Lyon is a much better quality off spinner than Travis Head is, and he has the guile to kind of beat him in the flight and beat him with his line and length. And that's what happened. But I think I won't begrudge him playing the reverse sweep here. But again, he had a lot of random shots. He was very attacking when he didn't need to be. And this has been a issue with all English batsmen, not just Harry Brook. But I think bigger things are expected of Harry Brook, and which is why I think he needs to put a bigger price on his wicket. With respect to Stokes, I mean, you could see that he's fighting a lot. He's fighting and he's eating up the balls. He's going against all baseball principles and trying to put a price on his wicket. But again, he needs support, man. You can't expect Joe Root and Ben Stokes to stand up every time. You need your Ben Duckett doesn't leave the ball. Ben Duckett does not leave the ball. He fishes every ball outside off stump for some reason, and that has brought about his downfall in so many innings. So he needs to have a look at his game again. I think a lot of changes are in store for England if they get whitewashed. I think a lot of players will not be coming back or will be sent to the county championship. But let's see. I think they need an entire change in traction.
One question before we move on to Australia, just a yes or no question. Do you think if they've already lost to Australia, but if they're going to get whitewashed 4-0, 5-0, do you think it's the end of baseball for England? Will Brendan McCullum get sacked as the head coach?
Um, if it was me as Rob Key as ECB head, I would have done it. Yes, but I think they back him to the hilt because it's
And
not
he's
brought in result. It not brought in result in any other country except Pakistan, where they were playing on highways in Rawalpindi and Multan, scoring
they've not
800.
brought results in England as well. That's a
Yeah, it's
problem.
not brought results in England as well against the top two, top
No,
three
no, no, no.
nations,
Only
big
one top
nations.
nation. There's no other top playing nation. India is not a top playing Test cricket nation anymore.
Yeah, so they need to beat South Africa, they need to beat Australia. But if India is not a top nation, they've still not beaten India, either in
Correct,
India
correct. Yes,
or in
I agree.
England. So
Correct.
it's clearly not worked, and it's yeah, I mean, I would definitely sack him. I would definitely, if not sack him, I would definitely tell him to stop experimenting with baseball and try to play a more traditional form of cricket. You can be attacking, but needs to come with brains.
Given that it's an interesting option because he's also now England's all format coach, the white ball and the red ball coach, with a lot of World Cups coming in as well, 26 T20 World Cup and 27 ODI World Cup as well. But obviously, England will look for change and fortunes in the next two test matches, at least for a moral victory, because I think all that they play for is a moral victory. Moving on to Australia, the rightful champions, and to show their record, I don't think they have lost a single test match at home against England after 2011 Ashes or
10.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010-11 Ashes. So it's been
Mm.
15 years of utter domination. They have also went on to England and at least retained the unearned two times.
Yeah.
So it's been total domination past the 2015 Ashes. England has not been able to
They've
retain
held
or
on to
at
the
least
Ashes
hold.
for a decade.
Correct. And now there was a lot of talk going into the series that it's an old team, it's an aging team. But look at the players who stepped up. Match one and two, Stark was absolute beast. Match number two, Pat Cummins comes back as a captain and as a player both. Steps up every moment you need him. Nathan Lyon getting 3 wickets in each innings. it was quite unfortunate for him to get injured because we obviously love watching the GOAT go about his business. Steve Smith, captain for the two test matches, important knocks in the first and the second one both. Marnus Labuschagne, short of runs coming into the contest, making runs. Travis Head, I think he's been the player of the series for them apart from Stark. First match, second innings, brilliant 100. Almost a double 100 over here. Alex Carey, again, not a young player. His keeping has been the standout, I think, for him apart from
Yeah.
his batting. And also now to include in the talks is Usman Khawaja. He was dropped a day before the third test, but with Steve Smith getting a vertigo effect or something, he came back. He scored a 80 in the first innings, which set
Mm.
the platform. In the second innings, an important 40 or 50 runs. So obviously, people that are coming new into the system, they are doing the job. But more important, the people who've been in the system for over a decade, some players over 5 years, are also doing the job, which is the key difference between Australia and England. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think you didn't mention Michael Neser. He's played
Michael,
his third
correct.
game. He got a
Yeah,
five
five
for at
four.
the Gabba.
Correct.
So, I mean, that just tells you Australia have been losing key players to injuries throughout all three games.
Correct.
Okay, Lyon was dropped in the second game, but he was still their best spinner.
Correct.
Cummins did not play the first two games.
Hoff is not
Smith did
there.
not play the third game.
Hoff is not
Khwaja
there
got
before the
injured.
entire series.
Yeah, Khwaja got injured. Hazelwood is not there. So that tells you the depth that Australia have at the current state, and the fact that they are all stepping up. It's very surprising to see that every single one of them has contributed.
Correct.
There's not one passenger in this team. Even Josh Inglis, he had a good run out of Ben Stokes in the direct hit at the Gabba,
Correct.
which kind of turned the
Match.
momentum towards Australia,
Mhm.
right? And everyone has contributed so well. Stark, of course, has been the highlight. So far he's the man of the series for me. Carey has been exemplary behind the stumps. You'll have your Mane scoring a 50, your Smith scoring a 50. Everyone has contributed, and it's a proper team effort, and I think that's why they are doing so well, and they deserve to be 3-0 up, and I don't see any other result going against them. I'm expecting a complete whitewash, and they're only going to get stronger with Smith coming in.
Correct. So I was coming to the next question was going into the fourth test, Melbourne. Steve Smith obviously becomes fit. So obviously, I think even you would agree that Josh Inglis would have to move out from the playing 11 and Usman would bat at number five.
Actually, I was thinking something different. I have a feeling that they might drop Jake Weatherall
Okay.
and then open with Head and Khwaja.
Could be, but I mean, would you drop someone like, I mean, you rather would go in with a tried and tested combination, and Jake and Head have been batting well together, at least in the opening partnerships. And I think,
Yeah, I
cool,
mean
yeah,
that totally depends on the combination because I think they can afford to rest players as well now,
correct. But
and
no
they
one
might
needs, like,
because
at least the batsmen don't need a rest as of now.
the batsmen do need a rest. I think of all people looking at them, Stark is probably the one who needs the most rest, but
But
I'm
I don't
sure
think
he's
he'll
not
rest
going
MCG. Yeah,
to.
he
Yeah,
won't.
I don't think he'll say I'm ready to miss an MCG test.
Correct.
So, um,
I think for
I don't
me,
know. It's between English and Weatherall for me. One of them
yeah,
will go.
correct. But in terms of bowling, I think with Nathan Lyon slated to miss the next test match, it becomes quite an easy option for you to swap him directly with either a Bo Webster or someone like a Michael Nesser.
They might need a spinner.
I don't think. I mean, with if you have got so many quality bowling options, and if you add an extra pacer, it just saves overs from Stark and Cummins as well. With obviously Cummins being more fit because he's just come, you might as well afford to use Stark when necessary only at MCG. Maybe with the new ball,
Hmm.
a couple of spells with the older ball. That's it. I mean, you'll have Scott Boland, you'll have Stark, you'll have Cummins, you'll have Cameron
Hmm.
Green, and you'll have someone like a Michael Neser coming in. First innings is sorted. Second innings, if the ball is spinning, you have Travis Head to make up for Nathan Lyon.
Yeah, maybe. They'll definitely need a spinner for Sydney.
Correct.
Maybe not for Melbourne.
Sydney, then
But
I think is there anyone apart from Todd Murphy in the squad? और I think वो तो हर मैच के पहले स्क्वाड अनाउंस होता है.
they can take anyone. There was another Kunaman. I think Kunaman was also he toured India.
Kuhneman, हाँ, he was there. There's
But
Ashley
again,
Lingard
he's
as
a
well.
very yeah, he's an orthodox guy. Todd
Yep.
Murphy would probably be a like for for
Yep.
Lion.
Do you think there's an outright chance of getting Cooper Connelly in because he's been having a brilliant of an big bash season as of now?
Again, he's more of a
Good
batting
correct.
all-rounder from
Yeah, I
what I
mean
think, what
someone
I
like
heard.
a someone coming in place of Nathan Lyon. If you want depth in batting, you might as well play him.
Maybe, but I think they have depth in batting. Stark has been
Uh,
one of their star batsmen and he bats at
correct.
9.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think depth in batting is an issue. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this will cause a slight headache, I think, in terms of selection, especially after Leon's injury.
It
So
doesn't matter anymore. They are already on course for 4-0, I think.
yeah, they are going to drink for the next 2 days. They're going to
Yep.
party. be ready for Christmas and Boxing Day, and I don't think they care. I think Bob Webster deserves to play anyway. I think
But
he there was no reason why he was dropped. To be honest, he was doing quite well, and they just randomly dropped him. So I think he'll make a comeback. He might replace Green, or he might play in place of Lyon. I'm not sure of that, but yeah, I think in Melbourne you might see them go without a spinner, but I think they'll need a spinner in Sydney for sure.
okay, so I would like to mention three things before we wrap up Australia as well. First would be the return of Steve Smith, but more than that, I would like to see a century from him. It's been a long while since he scored runs in the Test format. I don't know how long was it before, like the last time he scored a century, but definitely Joe Root has already shown his class in the second Test, and he scored a century. I think Smith is due for a big one, and if Joff is missing from the England bowling lineup, it becomes bit more easy for Steve to get 100. So one thing that second would be to see Scott Boland stepping up more. I think the bulk of the bowling that he's been like in terms of wickets has been from Nathan Lyon or Mitchell Stark throughout the series. I would like to see Scott Boland. See, we had hyped him up a lot after that India series, and he made key players retire. So I think it becomes more important for him, like also to with Josh Hazelwood coming back in place of uh, since we know that for the next two test matches he's not available, I think he's got two more matches to prove himself. He might as well get rested for the fourth or the fifth one, depending on his form and fitness. So that's a call to be taken later, but he does need to step up. And the third one would be a 5-0 whitewash from Australia over England. But as an Indian fan, I would love if England managed to sneak a couple of wins in the fourth and the fifth one, because that that
You're
really
hoping
sets
for
up the
World Test Championship points,
yeah,
Naman.
yeah, and that really sets up for the Border Gavaskar Trophy, but which will then become the like a five-match Test series in India. It will add a lot more spice because then there'll be pressure on Australia to win at least two or three Test matches over there, which is obviously
Yeah,
difficult. And we are hearing that a few players might just return back from retirement for that series from
I
India.
don't think that'll happen.
Even if that doesn't happen, I think we have a year before that for India to prepare for that series. So I think
Hmm.
all that has been lost in the last 1.5 year. All the reputation, all the home domination can be built again. I'm not saying would be built again, but there's a chance that if you, I think that's a talk for another day. But yeah, I think it would be better for England as well to get a moral victory and leave the Australian shore. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I mean, I would of course love India to be in the World Test Championship
uh,
final, and yeah, England winning will surely help, but I just don't see how it's going to happen. But
true.
yeah, I mean, let's hope for the best. And Scotty Boland will play in Melbourne.
Yeah, obviously,
He
he's
averages
got a
less than
statue over there,
10.
man. He's got a statue over
He
there.
averages, yeah, they'll build him a statue, and
Bro,
yeah, he's
it will
not
be
going to play anywhere else. Maybe he'll just play in Melbourne for sure.
it will be epic if he gets a 6 for 7 again.
Quite possible with this English lineup.
True. So guys, thank you for watching. We'll be back soon at the year end to review what has been an interesting cricketing year. A lot of good moments for Indian cricket, a lot of bad moments as well. But in terms of cricket overall, we saw a lot of new champions. South Africa coming and winning the first ever ICC title. India winning the Champions Trophy. Something that I think Krishna never imagined happened in the IPL as well. So we'll be talking about that at the end of the year. Do join in. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.